Half-Shell Oyster House offers award-winning cuisine and service. Named TripAdvisor Best Top 10 Small Chains in the United States. Voted Best Seafood in Mississippi Magazine 8 times. You can enjoy award-winning oysters and seafood, delicious steaks, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and so much more in a unique, polished casual dining experience. Half-Shell Oyster House is located at 115 Laurel Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232. Or you can give them a call at 769-257-7586. And hey, tell them Sonya sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonya, and welcome back to She Say Sports and our segment Legends of the Sipp. Welcome back, my co-host Rod Walker, sports writer of the New Orleans Advocate. Wanky is out today doing a training with Driven Elite Basketball Academy, so he'll be back with our next show. However, I have an amazing show today. We have an amazing show today. A true Mississippi legend, former NBA player, Jackson State University Hall of Famer, JPS product, and current FC Barcelona ambassador, Mr. Audie Atomic Dog Norris. What's up, Audie? How you doing?
Wow, what an introduction. I'm fine. How you doing?
I am doing well. The last time you were on the show, I was just audio only. So it's a pleasure seeing you today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure seeing you as well. I follow you on your social media.
Thank you. I follow you too. And last time we talked, Audie, we were in the thrust of COVID-19. How's the family and how are the numbers over there in Spain?
Well, actually, everything is fully open here in Spain. We're without masks, even on airplanes. So the numbers are down.
Great.
We still have cases here. I mean, we still have to proceed with caution.
Absolutely. Same here. The planes are open without masks, even though I'm still going to probably wear one for a while on the plane. Yeah, we are definitely back open. So that is great. And I think you guys just had an anniversary not a few months ago. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. You have been following.
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. So, Audie, let's get to it. So, I have to ask you this question. When did your love for basketball begin?
Wow. Probably when I was around maybe 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from my brother, because my brother Sylvester Norris, who also played at Jackson State, also played in the NBA with San Antonio Spurs. And man, he introduced me to the game. And man, we lived on Top Street in Washington Edition, and
Wow.
my dad constructed a full court out of the plywood that he had around the house. Man,
Mm-hmm.
we had a full court in our yard, and every kid in the neighborhood would come there and play. And from that point on, and I was kind of hooked on the game.
Hey, Audie, how intense were those battles between you and Sylvester, man? It had to be with two guys going to the NBA from the same household. So how intense were those games with y'all?
Let me put it like this. You wouldn't have known we were brothers. Man, my brother used to whoop my butt until I became of age where I could, hold my own. Because he would come and get me out of my 7th period class at Jim Hill and take me up to College Park where Purvis Short, Al Smith, Henry Ward, geez, man, Greg Connors, all the JSU legends when he was on the basketball team there, man. And he made me play with those guys. And I tell you, they handed it to me. But what it did for me was when I got back to playing with guys my own age, I could tell that I had gotten better for playing with the older guys and playing with guys my age. And it improved my game tremendously. But yeah, for lack of a better word, I got my ass kicked a lot.
So Audie, and speaking, I'm thinking, and Rod, you know where I'm going with this. So your brother, he was pretty much Detroit Pistons, and you were the Chicago Bulls in the mid '80s. He was toughening you up.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, it took me a long time for me to win a game against him, really. So yeah, that was a great analogy.
Yeah, he was preparing you. He was getting you ready. So you played at Jim Hill Tigers, and had an amazing high school career to the point where men's head basketball coach at Jackson State, Coach Covington, came pursuing you. And you were pursued by other schools, but what helped Coach Covington land you for Jackson State?
Well, to back up a little bit, I didn't play my 10th grade year. I tried to play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I entered the 10th grade, man. I was growing so fast that I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs. So,
wow.
My high school coach, Charles Bingham, he would take me up to Jackson State and have me rehab up there with Doc Barnes, legendary trainer at Jackson State. And from my 11th grade on, I started getting stronger from the training, and my senior year came around. Listen, I really wanted. I was torn between three colleges when I left high school: the University of Detroit, and LSU, and Jackson State. The reason Coach Covington got me, I mean, he convinced me that playing with my brother Sylvester, but we were really close. We went everywhere together. He took me with him. I mean, we were close on the floor. We knew each other. And I really wanted to play with him. Man, but it was a hard decision to not want to go to LSU when they came to my house and brought some things.
What were those things, Audie?
It was just a metal suitcase, that's all. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, but man, my love and my desire to play with my brother was much stronger than wanting to go to LSU, and I chose JSU for that reason. And ultimately, I didn't get to play with my brother because my freshman year, his senior year, he went hardship to the Spurs. So I should have took the suitcase.
Hey, Audie, it's been over 40 years, and you still have a play at Jackson State that people still talk about to this day. You got to talk me through the doc, and what was kind of going on in just talk me through the play, and what does it mean to you that people still talk about it 40 years later?
I tell you, every time I come back home, it's like that's the first thing people say when they see me. You couldn't imagine what practices were like before we played Alcorn. It was super intense. That week before we played Alcorn, I broke a backboard in practice at the dang, I've been going so long I forgot the name of the gym on Dalton Street. What's the name of the gym on Dalton Street?
I can't think of the name, but I know. But it's Walter. Well, it's not Walter Payton. Is it a part of Walter Payton Center now?
Yeah, it is. Anyway, I can't remember the name of that gym. TB Ellis.
TB Ellis, yeah.
Okay. But anyway, that week in practice, man, it was so intense. I broke a backboard in practice, and Coach Covington threatened me if I broke another one in practice, he's gonna make my dad pay for it. But so when the Saturday game came, man, tensions were high. Always to play against Alcorn, the Coliseum was jam packed. I mean, when I say jam packed, I'm talking about to capacity. And I remember getting the rebound, throwing it to Darian Hilliard, who was the point guard there at the time, and filling the right lane. And he gave it to me across half court. And I remember taking one dribble, going up, and the whole Coliseum came down. I tell you, but to me, it seemed like for like maybe 2 minutes, the whole gym was silent because they couldn't believe what had happened. I couldn't believe what had happened. And it just seemed like to me for 2 minutes, there was a silence in the gym. And then it was pandemonium, man. People was screaming and glass was everywhere. And it was an awesome feeling. It was an awesome feeling.
Imagine that in the social media era.
I was just about to say that.
You'd have blew Twitter up.
I was just about to say that. It's amazing. Like Rod and I, we were talking about that moment. And, I was a little girl. I may have been maybe 10, but I remember my father and his friends, they were talking about it. And they was like Audie Norris, and that name, I had never heard Audie before or Norris. So, I'm like, who is that? But, it was so much talk. It went viral on the streets. I
was growing up in Yazoo City and we heard about it, 30 minutes down the road. And this is no Twitter, no Facebook, but we heard about it.
I mean, it was in those days, man, we were HBCU, man, but we had a lot of white people coming to our games. I mean, they just love basketball, and our JSU basketball at that time, man, it was intense. It was really, really intense, and not the swag that you see today. It was a total different swag. And we had all kind of followers, man. Black and white people come up to me all the time to talk about that famous backboard against Alcorn.
That's amazing. So at JSU, you were named Freshman of the Year, was a 2-time league MVP, and was inducted into the Jackson State University Athletics Hall of Fame in 1998. How much of an honor was that for you, becoming a Hall of Famer at your alma mater?
Man, I was that good?
You were that good?
Wow. Hey, big honor. I mean, it just goes to the body of work that I put in. I was really dedicated to playing to the best of my abilities, but I really owe that to Coach Covington and the way he trained me, and I also owe it to my high school coach, the way he prepared me. He prepared me for college. And when I got to college, Coach gave me the tools that I needed to be the type of player that I was. I mean, he really tried to protect me when I was on the court because I was a very physical player. I had a baby face, but I was a physical dude.
we know.
And I love the physicality of the game. And I tell you, I probably today, I probably still lead the SWAC in personal fouls. Because I wanted to intimidate my opponents early in the game. And I remember my senior year, I was leading the nation in rebounding. And because of my aggressive play, I spent a lot of time on the bench. So my rebounds average went down because of that. And I think I ended up averaging something like 12 or 13 a game. I was averaging like 17 rebounds a game at that point. So, man, it was a total honor to play there and represent Jackson State and my family and all of that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Audie, you talk about how physical you were, and that's a lot of talk around the NBA right now. How much has the NBA changed, you feel like, from back in the 80s to where we are right now?
Oh, come on, man. You remember the bad boy Rick Mahorn
Yes.
and the time of those guys, the league has changed tremendously. The players are the same, but the rules of the game have changed. The rules influence the players to adapt their games, to the
Right.
rules. So that's what really affected the game because the NBA wants a speedy game. They wanted a quick game. Our game back in the day, it was slow and physical, in the paint, post players,
Mhm.
real centers. Now you got everything is 5 and out and 3-point shooting and
Yeah.
quick shots. It's a total different game. I missed the games, the style of the games from the 80s
Me
and
too.
90s. I miss that type of basketball. I get bored watching guys shoot threes the whole game.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Thank you for saying it. Me too, Audie. I hate it. That's true. So speaking of the NBA, you were drafted in 1982 in the second round, 37th pick overall to the Portland Trail Blazers. But it wasn't a smooth transition for you. Tell us about the injury you had and when Coach Covington he convinced you to go on and play. I think it was that summer right before the draft. Is that correct? Can you
it,
tell us
it
about
was.
that?
It was. I played my whole senior year with a stress fracture in my lower right leg. We didn't know it at the time because it was such a hairline fracture. It wasn't really detected on X-rays, but my leg was killing me. Um, Especially after January, going into the SWAC tournament, and I was playing on one leg basically, but it wasn't widely publicized at the time because you know I just sucked it up. I knew that was my opportunity, and I didn't want anything to hinder me from having an opportunity to play in the NBA. So after the season was over, I didn't play any basketball at all. I was just trying to let the leg heal. And then when Coach Covington called me into the office, I got an invitation to go to Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, and wasn't in any shape or nothing like that, man. But I was determined that I was just going to go there and play the best that I could on my one leg. So when I got there, first game I played, I played well. I remember the stats to this day. I had 20 and 16, but my team lost. But when you lose, when your team loses, another team can pick you up. So I got picked up for the next day, and the same. I had pretty much the same numbers. I had 20 and 14 the next game, and from that point on, I kind of put myself on the map with all of the NBA scouts and coaches. And after that, I got invited to the Aloha Classic in Hawaii. Went out there and played well, but I'm still hobbling on one leg. By this time, the leg is really, really hurting me. And but I played well enough to get invited to the first ever Chicago uh, pre-draft camp tournament, whatever you call it back then. And man, I went there and played in that. But by that time, I mean, I was dragging the leg, but I was still competing. And I remember Don Nelson with the Milwaukee Bucks. They took me out of the camp. That I'd done enough to impress them that I could play at that level, and they took me to doctors. But even at that point, they still didn't find the fracture. But and from there, I thought Milwaukee was going to take me in the first round because Don Nelson was constantly in contact with me. But at the end of the tournament in Chicago, Jack Ramsey was one of our speakers to our group, and he was like, a lot of you have raised your stock in this camp, and you've shown that you could play, through adversity and injuries, and the whole time he's looking at me, but I'm not thinking anything of it because I'm in pain.
Right.
So we get back home, waiting on the draft. I didn't go to New York for the draft. We had a kind of like a draft party at my house with all my teammates, family was there. Because really, I didn't think I was going to get drafted because of my injury. And so when the draft came out, the first round went by. Man, I got up and left the house and went up to this little park by my house. I was up there, I was super, super down, depressed, crying even. And in the midst of me crying, I heard my sister and brothers come running up the street, telling me I got drafted by Portland. I was still crying, but it was a happy cry at that point.
Hey, Audie, did you have what was your moment, your welcome to the NBA moment? Like, I don't know if you walked on the court and saw Kareem or whatever. I mean, what was your moment when you realized that, man, I really made it?
Well, I tell you, I didn't play. I played only 30 games my rookie season because of the stretch fracture. I didn't play. I was on the injury list practically the whole year. But then when I did get in the game, you talk about Kareem and the welcome to the NBA moment. Man, I'm sitting on the bench. We're in Portland, and I'm like, wow, man, that's Kareem. Wow, that's Bob McAdoo. Wow, that's Jamal Wilkes. I'm starstruck.
Right.
Right.
I see these guys up close and personal. I'm sitting here, stargazing and stuff, and all the while Jack Ramsey's calling me to come in the game. I'm not hearing anything, and my teammates were cracking up because they knew I didn't hear him because I was like, I mean, I'm saying it out loud to myself. Jack calling me, and finally he said, all right, I'm gonna say it just like he said it. He said, "God damn it, Norris, you want to play this? You gonna get your ass off the bench and get in this game."
You was like, oh.
I'm like, okay, coach, I'm ready.
That's hilarious.
That was my welcome to the NBA moment. My second welcome to the NBA moment in that same game. Kareem put that elbow in my throat when he was throwing that jump hook. I mean, when he was throwing this sky hook, and that's what I know is for real, man. I'm like, oh my God, can't nobody stop this, man. I'm like choking and gagging from the elbow in the throat. It was crazy. It was crazy.
But did you love it though that he hit you in the throat with his elbow?
Man, I love every minute of it. I'm like, somebody elbow about Kareem.
I love it. So Audie, you got your nickname Atomic Dog. I think it was a game against Dallas. Who gave you that name, and explain that whole scenario?
Wow, man. Yeah. We were playing the Mavericks in Portland, and I had a really good game that game. And I got a pass from Clyde Drexler at the top of the key, and I took one dribble and went in. I dunked on the whole team. I think it was Mark Aguirre under the basket, Kurt Nymphius, James Donaldson. All of these guys was in the paint, man. And I had some crazy hops back then. And I went up and dunked on all those guys, man. And after the game, I'm doing an interview, and Michael Thompson was like one of my mentors on the team, and he came in. We didn't call it photo bombing back then, but he photo bombed the interview, and he's like, "Man, did y'all see the atomic dunk from the Atomic Dog?" And from that point on, the media and everybody, they started calling me the Atomic Dog from that. So thanks to Michael Thompson, man, I got the Atomic Dog. So anytime I would go to any clubs in Portland or whatever, hanging out, they put the Atomic Dog on when I come to the door.
Wow.
I'm
sorry, Michael Thompson. That's Klay Thompson's father. Everybody
Right.
who doesn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you still keep up with him, and how much have you just followed? I see you drinking out of the Steph Curry cup, so I'm assuming that.
You saw that, huh?
I saw it, yeah. So I'm assuming that you team Warriors for the playoffs, or who's your playoffs? Who's going to win this thing?
Uh, Actually, this is my wife's cup. I just borrowed to drink my tea. With the
Okay.
boys. I'm a Lakers fan. mm.
You say you're a
But do
Lakers
you
fan?
think? Go ahead. He said he is a
Yeah, don't
Lakers
hold it.
fan.
Don't hold it. They gonna get it right one day. They gonna get it right.
Okay.
Well, Audie, the Fakers are not in. You hear me? The Fakers, they're not in the playoffs. So what?
Right.
What you thinking in West for the West Conference? Dallas. How you feeling about Dallas?
And you know what?
God, I'm
I would love to see the Warriors regain their identity as a championship level team. But I'm a Luka Doncic fan also. I mean, I've watched him grow up here in Spain, playing for Madrid, and I've always been a fan of Luka. And man, what he did to Phoenix was phenomenal. I mean, that was just wow. That's all I can say. It was just a wow with what he did to Phoenix. So I would like to see the Mavericks come out of the West. All right, crazy as it sounds,
I know.
I would like to see the Celtics come out of the East.
Me too. And I told Rod I would never say that out loud because I'm a Bulls fan, but me too.
I like them boys, man. That boys play some serious basketball, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ain't never been a Celtics lover like that, but I like this team.
Hey, Audie, having watched Luka grow up, did you have any idea he was going to be this special? I mean, did you see something in him at that age?
Yeah. Listen, I always tell the guys, even when I coach Kristaps Porzingis and Billy Hernan Gomez playing with New Orleans, uh, I told them it would be easier for them when they get to the NBA.
Mhm.
In the basketball in Europe is so closed. We play zone defense like in college, so the paint is so closed off. But the NBA is so wide open,
Right.
the floor, and if you got any type of skill, which these boys did, they have, they were going to be successful in the NBA. I had no doubt about
Okay. Now, Audie, I know after your NBA career, you stuck around the game and even did some coaching, in Mississippi. What was that experience like for you coaching younger kids and you coach some people that, they probably they didn't have NBA aspirations like you. They were just playing because they love the game, I guess. But what was that like for you?
it. I loved it. I loved it. It was just, you know, part of it was just me wanting to give back what I've learned and try to help young kids learn the game the right way and teach them the right way as I knew it, and uh, just to see them excel when they got to their respective teams and the things that we would work on in the summer, man, that was rewarding for me to see them have an opportunity to play in high school or go to college. Um, uh, when I coached, actually, I probably had more fun coaching the girls, my girls AAU team, than I did coaching the boys because the girls were, man, they were ready. They were like a sponge. They would
Right.
soak up, and they were not difficult to train. It was a joy coaching them. Uh, and to see them excel in college and the WNBA with Sasha Goodlett and Lysandra Barrett, who were part of my team. They both got drafted 11 and 12 to the WNBA, and to see them get to the highest level of women's basketball, man, it was such a joy for me to see that. And it was always just about giving back and giving young kids an opportunity to get to the next level.
Yeah. When we talk about you being an ambassador, what exactly does that entail? I mean, what are kind of your roles now as an ambassador for the game?
Well, I do a lot of community service work with Barcelona. I travel with the team. Um, I represent the team in the EuroLeague and the events that we go to. I'm a mentor for the players on the team because you have a lot of Americans or foreign players on the team, and just being a mentor to them, talking about the game, helping them through it, and representing the club in all the events that we have here. I'm actually trying to whenever China opens back up again, we're looking at going to Barcelona basketball academies and schools there in China. I got a good relationship with a lot of people there in China. So just building the Barcelona brand and being a part of the club. I played 6 years with them, and I'm at home, man. That's what I do. And I'm also the ambassador for the NBA in Europe. We haven't gotten started doing anything yet because of COVID. NBA is still looking at the COVID restrictions in other countries, but we go to other countries to do clinics and camps and social events in those countries. And so whenever we get started doing that again, I'll be working there as well.
We talk about the word ambassador. When you hear that word NBA, you think about Bob Lanier, obviously, who just passed away. But how well did you know him, and just what does his loss mean to the game of basketball?
Man, Bob Lanier was one of the first big guys I met personally when I was on a visit with University of Detroit. Mm-hmm. He was playing with the Pistons at the time when I came out of high school. I met Bob there. And I mean, that was one of the other reasons why I really wanted to go to University of Detroit, because he really took care of me when I went there. It was really sad to hear of his passing last week, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And what he brought to the game, man. You talking about, Bob Lanier, probably one of the top 10 big men in the history of the game. He had a nice left hand hook like Kareem. Big body, really unstoppable down in the Payton, and he was the ambassador for the NBA as well, doing a lot of community service work and giving back to the community and being a mentor to a lot of the players around the league as well.
All right, my last question I wanted to ask you about, just being a kid growing up in Jackson, Mississippi. When you first picked up that basketball, did you have any idea it was going to take you all across the world and where it's taking you?
Man, great question. Because I tell these kids here, even in Spain, when I do my talks with them, I say, hey, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. Y'all don't even have a clue where Jackson, Mississippi is. But it's because of basketball that I'm here.
Yeah.
And it all started for me back in Jackson, Mississippi. So if you stay true to the game, respect the game, it'll take you around the world. I've been in places I never dreamed that I'd be in. I always say I wish I was a better Spanish student when I was in school, man, because I knew Spanish when I was in school, and here I am living in Spain. It's crazy.
Well, you're doing pretty good. You speak very well, so you're doing pretty good. And one more question, and we're gonna let you go. We're gonna play a game real quick. But you seem like you're building your brand in front of the camera now. I noticed you've been on a beer commercial, and you look like you're a sponsor, not a sponsor, but spokesperson for a cologne. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, these are things my wife got me into.
And you got the right wife. She know what she's doing.
She got me going to all these castings with commercials and things like that. And I've been lucky. I've done several commercials. I did for an insurance company that only airs here in Europe, and that Heineken commercial only aired in like South America or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. It's fun. I'm like, man, okay, I'll go, but they like me. I got a personality. I don't know. but yeah, just trying to be creative and continue to reinvent myself and uh, take advantage of the opportunities that I have here. I'm going to eventually have my program with Barcelona. You know, interviewing a lot of the players in the organization, soccer players, basketball players, handball players, and a lot of the pro players that's in the club of Barcelona. So it's fun, man. Just being here, having opportunities.
That's awesome. And that's great. Great wife. She's taking you to the next, next step of your career, so that's awesome. But Audie, before we go, I play a game called You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That. And what that is, it's a way for me, the guest, and Rod to just get to know, not the guests, the listeners to get to know the guests better. I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the one that best fits you, okay?
Hey, let's go.
All right. Do you prefer American cuisine or Spanish cuisine?
Spanish cuisine.
I knew it. You done let go Mississippi, all the turkey necks and hog maws and
Stamps burgers, yeah, all that stuff.
You don't even eat Stamps burgers no more.
That's one thing I cannot find here is turkey necks, and I would love to have some turkey.
Okay, what's your favorite cuisine? What's your favorite meal in Spain?
Well,
one of them.
One of them is the typical dish is called paella, and it's a rice dish with a lot of different ingredients in it. Vegetables, seafood, or you can with steak. It's really, really good dish here. But my main food is seafood. Seafood from my wife's town. She lives in she's from the north of Spain, called Galicia, and they have a lot of shellfish and things like that. And that's since we, during the pandemic, we couldn't get our shellfish and fish from there, so we had a guy to ship us our seafood on a monthly basis.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, next question. You prefer money or free time?
Wow, I prefer both.
Yeah, me too.
Because if you have the money, it can allow me to have my free time.
Exactly. I totally agree. You prefer train or plane? I know y'all use the train over there quite a bit.
I prefer train. I love the train. The transportation system here is so great. Coming from the States, it didn't dawn on me until I moved back here that taking the train or taking the bus in the States, it would never cross my mind to do so.
Right.
And actually, it's like a lack of a better word, poor mentality if you got to take the bus or take the train and you don't have the means to fly through or whatever.
Right.
But it's a total misconception of what the public transportation system is. I love it here because I don't have to take my car. When I go to Barcelona, I can take the train into Barcelona, and I love it. It's great. There are a lot of things that I know here that I do that I never did back in the States.
And I heard, and the reason why I asked that question because I heard, like you can go from different countries. Is that there's that small? You can just take the train and go to England or Italy.
Right.
Right. So
peaceful. So peaceful.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
It's really peaceful taking the train. I take the train to Madrid all the time. It's super train, and you get there in 2.5 hours. It's great. It's great. I love the train.
That's awesome. Do you prefer TV or a good book?
I'm a TV guy.
You like shows like reality shows, documentaries, besides sports? What else do you like to watch?
Oh, I like the docuseries. I like the shows. Hey, believe it or not, I get a lot of the shows from states on here, like what do you call it? Man. Yeah, CSI, Hawaii,
Okay, yeah.
Hawaii.
Mhm.
All those shows. I like all those shows there.
Yeah, me too. I love CSI. CSI Miami, my favorite. Motorcycle or bicycle?
If I had to choose bicycle, I've never ridden a motorcycle in my life.
Really? Okay. You're probably too tall.
Well, it was always a contract thing with me, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
was, that's why I never was eager to ride one. But I would choose a bicycle because there are a lot of bicycles here that you can rent and ride down the beach, and so I'm a bicycle guy.
Okay. More important in a partner, intelligence or have a great sense of humor?
For me, both. Sorry,
No, I
you gotta have great sense of humor, and you definitely gotta be intelligent. Those two things are really important.
Yeah. I already knew pretty was important to you because we talked about that before. You said Coach Covington about the girls y'all used to date in school. So, I remember, plus your wife is beautiful, so I didn't even ask that question. So, you prefer cardio?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
You prefer cardio or weight?
Wait.
Okay.
I'm still a lazy guy. I never liked running.
Mhm.
I know I had to do it for my job or whatever, but if you had to make me run or do weights, I do weights.
Yeah. You prefer being a player or coaching?
Player. I miss playing.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, if physics could have us play until we 50 or 60, man, I'd probably still be playing.
Wow.
It was just that enjoyable.
Yeah, that competitive thing still is in a lot of athletes, I'm sure.
It's not so much just about the competitive. It was just fun. It was just fun. Playing games and outsmarting your opponent, and it was just fun playing.
Do you prefer housework or being in the yard?
I prefer housework.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Especially now, I live in a high-rise apartment, so I don't have a yard. So
you don't have to deal with that. Good. Last question. Besides yourself, who was the best in dunks? Dominique Wilkins or Michael Jordan?
Dominique. Michael had, as far as styles and different, for me, Dominique was the best dunker. In-game dunker, behind the back, rock the baby, in-game dunk like that. Dominique was the best.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Hey, Audie, let me just ask you this one question while we got you.
Oh, yeah.
Put these in order. Rank them 1 through 3. Kareem, Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
Oh, wow. See, what people don't understand is that, they didn't live in the Kareem era. I lived in the Kareem era. Kareem for me is number one. Michael Jordan number two, and LeBron number three.
And also, all right, let me ask you this then. You had to pick 5 guys. Give me your starting 5 guys who played, 5 guys from Mississippi, all time. A starting 5.
Starting 5. I didn't see everybody, so don't hold it against me. Hervey Short would be one. Mahmoud, Chris Jackson, or whatever, Raul.
Yeah.
Two. Guy named see, these guys didn't see Keno Banner play. Keno Banner was one of the best guards I've seen play in my era in a long time. So Keno Banner.
Two more.
Wow, this is a tough one, boy. Wow, dude. So many.
You can include yourself, and that'll make it easier for you.
I was about to say that.
That was going to be the last one. That was going to be the last one. Oh, man. I'm thinking Larry Smith. I'm thinking Sylvester Norris. I'm thinking, oh, man. Monte Ellis. Jeez. I'm stumped, man. I'm stumped. So now on 5 for Mississippi, there was so many great guys. I'm gonna go with Mr. Bean. Larry Smith was a tough opponent of mine, and I'm just going from what I know, what I actually saw play against Mr. Bean.
That was a solid list.
Solid list, yeah. Well, Audie, thank you so much.
We can win some games with that list.
Yeah.
And break some backboards.
And break some backboards. Audie, thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media.
Well, my Twitter account is Atomic Dog 14. I started my Twitter account when I didn't know nothing about Twitter, so that's why it's Atomic Dog 14 and not Audie Norris.
Okay.
And my Instagram is Audie Norris on Instagram and Facebook. I got several on Facebook. I have an Audie Norris fan page and Audie Norris fan page on Instagram as well. So take your pick on those. Either way, you'll get me.
Okay. And Rod, tell the listeners how they can follow you and listen to read your story with New Orleans Advocate.
My Twitter handle is Rod Walker NOLA, and my stories can be found on NOLA.com.
Thank you. And guys, you can follow me.
Rod, I'm sorry, but I hadn't seen Rod since I left Jackson 11, 12 years ago. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Audie. And I didn't even realize you had coached Billy Hernan Gomez, and we have to catch up on that. He's like they love him here in New Orleans, man.
New Orleans boy, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And guys, you can follow me at She Say Sports on Facebook. She Say Sports 23 on Instagram, at She Say 23 on Twitter, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports and Legends of the Sipp.
Thank you, Sonia, so much. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for coming back. It was a pleasure. Thank you.